Eagles family, hold that emotion, because what's happening in Philly right now is something big. Green Heart Eagle. Every domino around the league fell perfectly into place. Coincidence? Not a chance. It's just another week where the front office proves why it never sleeps. 3 moves, 3 surgical additions, 3 direct answers to the team's biggest needs. It's the kind of action that can change the course of a season, and the best part, done with balance, vision, and boldness. Just when it seems like they can't possibly improve anymore, boom, another move that leaves the rest of the league scratching their heads, asking, how do they keep doing this? Philly came out of the bye deeper, healthier, and somehow, even more dangerous. The defense just got new weapons, the rotation looks sharper, and the energy in that locker room screams one thing: the time is now. Every move has purpose, every adjustment has intent, and every player that walks through those doors buys into the culture we all know: discipline, aggression, and a hunger to win. So go ahead and smash that like, because what's coming next is going to be wild. And drop a comment too, say it loud: Howie Roseman, I trust you. Go Birds! The Eagles might not have even played this week, but somehow they walked out of the bye looking like one of the biggest winners in football. Think about that. No game, no hits, no travel, yet every domino around the league fell perfectly into place. And at the center of it all, once again, is Howie Roseman doing what Howie does best: turning an already loaded roster into something that looks even scarier heading into the back half of the season. 3 trades in 1 week. Michael Carter, Jaire Alexander, Jalen Phillips. 3 names, 3 positions of need, 3 moves that change the shape of this defense heading into a crucial stretch. Roseman didn't just plug holes, he added versatility, experience, and firepower. And if there's one thing about Howie that never changes, it's that he doesn't care if it's the top 5 guy on the roster or number 53. If he can make the team better, he's pulling the trigger. That's why Philadelphia is always in the mix, because this front office refuses to sit still. Let's start with Michael Carter. Slot corner help was a must, and this move checks that box. Behind Cooper DeJean, depth was paper thin, and that's a dangerous game in Vic Fangio's defense, especially when your slot guy plays such a vital role in both run support and pass coverage. Carter gives them insurance and options. You can move DeJean outside if you need to, or keep him inside and rotate Carter in depending on matchups. Both players are athletic, physical, and instinctive, and because of that, Fangio now has the flexibility to mix coverages, disguise blitzes, and even use one of them in hybrid safety looks if needed. That's not a luxury, that's a strategic weapon. Then there's Jaire Alexander. Sure, he's not the same guy he once was when he was an all-pro in Green Bay, but this isn't about chasing the past. It's about adding proven experience and familiarity to a unit that thrives on communication and discipline. Alexander knows Christian Parker, the Eagles' defensive backs coach, from their time in Green Bay, and that familiarity matters. It's another example of the organization valuing chemistry just as much as talent. He's not here to be the number 1 corner anymore. He's here to be depth, leadership, and insurance against injuries down the stretch. For a team with Super Bowl aspirations, that's exactly the kind of quiet, calculated move you want. And then there's Jalen Phillips, the headline grabber. A freak athlete at 26 years old, coming off a string of injuries that could have derailed a lesser player's career, but instead seemed to have made him more focused than ever. Under Vic Fangio, he was on track for a career year before his Achilles tear in 2023. Then he tore his ACL in 2024, 2 brutal setbacks. But look at what he's done since coming back. 3 sacks in his last 5 games, 10 pressures in his last 2, an 18.6% pressure rate, 8th best in the league. That's not just a comeback, that's a statement. His pass rush win rate and pressure percentage lead all Eagles defenders right now. The guy is producing like a star, and the best part, he's doing it as a perfect schematic fit for Fangio's system. He can line up on the edge, slide inside, and cause chaos anywhere along the line. For a team that saw its pass rush go quiet at times early in the year, this is the spark they needed. You gave up a 3rd-round pick for him, sure, but if he walks after the season, that's a compensatory 3rd coming right back. That's what smart teams do. They move aggressively, but they do it with balance and foresight. And Howie Roseman has made a habit out of it. Since training camp alone, he's made 9 trades. 9. John Mechie, Jacorian Bennett, Sam Howell, Fred Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Michael Carter, Jaire Alexander, Jalen Phillips. He's constantly adjusting, retooling, and fine-tuning. And that's why the rest of the league keeps shaking its head every time the Eagles pull off another deal and wonder how this front office keeps getting it right. And the crazy part? There's still time. As the trade deadline hits, the question becomes, will he stop here, or is there one more move left in the bag? The team's remaining needs are clear: interior offensive line, tight end depth, maybe a safety. Some fans talk about wide receiver, but the front office clearly believes in Jaden Dodson and Darius Cooper, and that's why John Mechie was moved. The focus now is trench strength and back-end security. Howie's got draft capital, he's got cap flexibility, and he's got that restless energy that makes you believe something could drop at any moment. There's chatter about potential targets: Jackson Powers Johnson, an elite center who could slide to guard and thrive under Jeff Stoutland; Michael Mayer, a young, physical tight end with a balanced skill set; David Njoku, a veteran freak athlete who could add another dimension to the passing attack. And then there's the dream move, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Imagine adding a ball-hawking, Pro Bowl caliber safety to a defense that already looks this complete. It's bold, it's aggressive, and it's exactly the kind of Howie move that would send shockwaves across the NFC. It might cost a second or a third, but when you're all in on a Super Bowl run, the question isn't why would you, it's why wouldn't you? Because right now, everything is aligning for Philadelphia. They've come out of the bye healthier, deeper, and somehow even more motivated. A.J. Brown, Cam Jurgens, Nolan Smith, all getting rest and recovery. The locker room is fresh, the energy is right, and the schedule ahead puts them in position to control their own destiny. With Green Bay and Detroit on deck, both games that could decide seeding and tiebreakers across the NFC, the stakes couldn't be higher. And after watching the Packers stumble against Carolina, you get the feeling that Philly smells blood. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that Howie Roseman rarely ever leaves the table early. When there's opportunity, he strikes. And when there's blood in the water, he attacks like the league's most relentless executive. But even if another move doesn't happen, the truth is this: the Philadelphia Eagles just engineered one of the best bye weeks in recent NFL memory. They didn't play a single snap, yet somehow came out on top in almost every way imaginable. Let's start with the standings. The Packers lost. The Lions lost. The Cowboys got smacked around. The Commanders were embarrassed. And somehow, after a quiet Sunday with no game at all, the Eagles ended up sitting in the driver's seat, the number 1 seed in the NFC. You can't script it better than that. The Packers' loss to Carolina was brutal. They looked out of sync, confused, and flat out lost. Jordan Love continues to flash moments of brilliance followed by complete breakdowns, and it's clear that team still doesn't know who they are offensively. Meanwhile, Carolina, who's been written off by just about everyone, found a way to run the football, control the tempo, and snatch the game away with a last-second field goal. That loss could loom large for Green Bay because next week, they've got to face a rested, reloaded Eagles squad under the bright lights of Monday Night Football. That's a tough ask for anyone, especially when your offensive identity is falling apart. Then there was the Lions. Detroit has been one of the hottest teams in the conference, playing with swagger and physicality all season long, until they ran into a hungry Vikings defense that looked reborn. Rookie J.J. McCarthy came in when no one expected him to play, and suddenly the Lions couldn't keep up. A late interception sealed it, and just like that, the NFC North tightened up, opening the door wider for the Eagles to seize control of the top spot. It's crazy when you think about it. With the Packers and Lions both taking losses, the Eagles didn't just benefit from luck, they capitalized on the league's chaos. This team has been built for moments like this, where every small break matters in the long climb toward January football. The road to home field advantage is paved not just with wins, but with moments like these, the little shifts in the standings that start to build momentum. And inside the NFC East, total domination by inactivity. The Giants lost again, their season cooked. The Commanders were crushed on national television by the Seahawks. And the Cowboys? They got dismantled by Arizona in a game that exposed every weakness they've tried to hide since September. Dak Prescott threw a killer interception late. The defense gave up big plays all night, and Dallas fans are starting to realize that America's team might just be falling apart at the worst time. Meanwhile, the Eagles are 6-2, riding a 3-game cushion atop the division. There hasn't been a repeat NFC East winner since 2004, and that was Philadelphia too. You can almost feel the symmetry in the air. 2 decades later, the Birds are right back in position to reclaim that dominance and lock down the division before December even hits. The other bonus from this bye week? Health. This team needed rest, and they got it. A.J. Brown, Cam Jurgens, Nolan Smith, Jacorian Bennett, even veteran leaders like Brandon Graham, all benefiting from the extra week to heal up and reset for the home stretch. The timing couldn't be better. You add 3 new players to your roster, you regain health across the board, and you're heading into one of the biggest primetime games of the season with a chance to solidify your NFC supremacy. And let's not forget, Green Bay's already looking shaky. That loss to Carolina wasn't just a slip-up, it exposed a team that doesn't know how to finish. The Packers were caught looking ahead to this Eagles matchup, and it cost them dearly. Now they've got to face a Philly squad that's rested, confident, and ready to unleash one of the league's deepest pass-rushing units. You can already feel the storm building. Jalen Hurts returning to the very field where his career as a starter truly began back in 2020, ready to remind everyone why Philadelphia is built different. Because this game isn't just about records. It's about making a statement. It's about showing the rest of the conference that the road to the Super Bowl still runs through Lincoln Financial Field, and that if you want to take it from the Eagles, you better be ready for 4 quarters of controlled chaos. So, now that all the dominoes have fallen perfectly, all eyes turn to Howie in the front office. One question remains: do you think he's done, or does he have one last trick up his sleeve before the deadline buzzer sounds? Let me know what you think in the comments, because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, you never count out the possibility of another move that shocks the league. And if you're all in on this ride, if you believe this roster is about to make a real Super Bowl push, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and stay locked in here with us. More breakdowns, more analysis, and more Eagles talk coming your way. And don't go anywhere, click the video on your screen right now, because we've got even more on how this team's latest trades could redefine the rest of the season. Because what's coming next feels like the calm before a storm in Philadelphia. Every great run has that moment, the point when a team stops just trying to prove itself and starts to own the moment. That's exactly where the Eagles are right now. You can sense it in the locker room, in the press conferences, even in the way players have been talking after practice. There's confidence, but it's not cocky. It's businesslike. It's the energy of a team that knows it's built for something bigger than a regular season hot streak. And honestly, the timing couldn't be better. The next few weeks will shape the entire NFC playoff picture. A Monday Night Football showdown at Lambeau Field, then Detroit. 2 back-to-back matchups against teams that have spent the entire year being called contenders. And now both of them have to stare down a recharged,